Good evening. Am I audible, everyone? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So let's start now. So let's brush it up once, and then we'll begin with the Azure Data Factory. So, guys, here we are having. So let us see what is Azure Data Factory. So, what is Azure Data Factory? The Azure Data Factory is nothing but what, everyone? This is a service, guys. It is a service. The Azure Data Factory is a service. Okay. So it's not only a service, you can say it's a cloud service, guys. Azure Data Factory is a cloud service provided by the Microsoft to perform the following job. What is that? To perform the job of what is a data migration, data integration, and then we have the data summarization. Data summarization. Everyone. So here we can say that the Azure Data Factory is a cloud service provided by the Microsoft to perform the following jobs. The job of the data migration, data integration, and data summarization. Whereas when it comes to this Azure Data Factory, yes, guys, it is developed. Okay, it is developed on a technique called ETL. What is it? ETL. Whereas this ETL stands for what, guys? Extraction, transformation, and loading. That is called as what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. That is the ETL. Whereas this is a very old technique called ETL. Apart from this, nowadays we have been upgraded towards it ELT as well. So what do you mean ELT, guys? ELT is the another service which we call it. ELT is the another technique we can say that is called as what? Extraction, loading, and transformation. Extraction, loading, and transformation. So, guys, so here we have the two techniques. What is it? Extraction, transformation, loading. Extraction, loading, and transformation. Both performs the same job. Yes. Whereas this both requires two things. What is that? The first one is required as a source. Yes, guys, everyone, source. And the second one, we require it as a target. Whereas source is nothing but what? Source of data. Now tell me, everyone, what is the source of data, guys, everyone? What is the source of data? A place from where we get the data is called as the source of data. A place from where we get the data is called as the source of data, guys, everyone. A place from where we get the data is called as what? The source of data. Whereas the following as the source of data. So ultimately, the data we get it from the business only, whatever the type of business you have it. So that we can say what is that? The business is nothing but, we can say the first type of a business is social networking sites. Social networking sites. Okay, that is the social networking sites. So what do you mean social networking sites? That is nothing but we have the Facebook, and then you have Insta, Twitter, and now we have what is that? WhatsApp, WhatsApp. All these are the social networking sites which generates the massive amount of data. And apart from this, what is the other business we have it, guys? The business. So ultimately, the data we get it from what? Business only. So here we get the data from the business, from what is that? And from the applications called what is that? Banking applications. And banking applications are used at which level here? At the banking sectors. Am I right? At the banks. At the banking sector, we use the banking applications. This also generates a massive amount of data. Everyone, this also generates the massive amount of data. Whereas the other source is what is it? You have it. You get the data from the business. So what is the next business? You can get the data from the live streaming process. We can get the data from what's that? Live streaming process. What do you mean live streaming process, guys? The where the live streaming process is used, can you tell me, guys? Where the live streaming process is used? The live streaming is nothing but the live data, such as you have the climate conditions, live climate condition. That is the live streaming. In the same way, the live streaming process is used at the stock market, where the data keeps on changing, the values keeps on changing every second. Am I right? So this is called as a one of the source of generating the getting the data. That is called as a that data. That is called as what? The massive data. So hence, these are some of the sources where from where we get the data. And apart from this, guys, these three sources, what are the other source we can get it? Yes, we can generate, we can have the data. Yes, everyone. Yeah, we can get the data from the following sources of data. Whereas, guys, everyone, whereas this kind of data and the data which is generated at this level is called as what? Big data. So what do you mean by big data, guys? Big data is nothing but, what is the big data? Big data is nothing but, this is called as a massive amount of data. Massive amount of data, or you can say huge data. That is called as a huge. Big means what? Huge. Data means what? Information. So you can say the massive information. And this massive information are of three types. Types of data. You can say, what are the types of data, guys? Can you tell me? Yesterday we have already discussed it. What are the types of data? Yes, guys, everyone. I want the session to be interactive, guys. Tell me now. The first is what? Structured data. And the second one is what, guys, everyone? Semi-structured data. The next one is what? All of you, unstructured data. Unstructured data. So these are the three categories of data, or three types of data we can have it. What is it? Structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So what do you mean by structured data, guys, everyone? We've discussed it yesterday. I want a reply from all of you. Yes, please answer my questions. Yes, everyone. What is the structured data? Structured data is nothing but what? The data which is recorded in the proper form of the table. And the table is nothing but, it's a collection of what is that? Rows and columns. Rows and columns. The data which is recorded in the tabular format, that is in the form of rows and columns, is called as what is that? Structured data. Is called as what? Structured data. The data which is recorded in the form of a table, that is in the form of rows and columns, is called as what? Structured data. Is called as what? structured data. And now, guys, when you talk about the semi-structured data, what is the semi-structured data? The data which is not fully structured, but still the user can understand this data, which is nothing but in the form of a JSON, in the form of HTML, in the form of a XML. These are all called as what? Semi-structured data, guys. And the next one is, what is it? You have it unstructured. So unstructured means what? There is no structure. The photos, videos, and then photos, videos, and next one, what is it? You have it chat histories, photos, videos, chat history, and then you can have, what is that? Voice notes. These are all comes under the unstructured data, guys. Whereas, what is the that is nothing but the the compatibility you have it. It only 20% of the data in the real time you get it from the structured and semi-structured source. From the semi-structured and structure, we will get only 20% of the data. We will get, what is it? The 20% of the data we will get from the structured and as well as the semi-structured. Only 20% of the data we get it from what? Structured and semi-structured. Whereas the 80% of the data we get it from what? The 80% of the data we get it from, what is that? Yes, guys, 80% of the data we get it from what? Unstructured source. That means the data we get it unstructured data as a 80% and structured and semi-structured as a 20%. That's a total amount of 100% of data you'll receive in this format. Okay, everyone. Now, guys, the next one, everyone. So this data, whatever you have it, that is a structured data or semi-structured data, this will be recorded or stored in Azure. In Azure, we can store this data or not? Tell me, guys, everyone. In Azure, can we store this data? Everyone, can we store this data in Azure? Yes? Guys, I want a reply. Can we store this data into Azure? Of course, we require to store the data. We can store the data. Whenever you wanted to store the data in Azure, yes, guys, the Azure provides the following. So we can say, what's that? Storages in Azure. The following are the storages in Azure. The first one is, what is that? The first type of a storage is nothing but what? Azure Blob Storage. And the second one is what? Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Azure Blob Storage, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. And then you have, what is that? Azure, yes, guys, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. And you can also have the Azure Data Lake Gen 1 is also there, guys. Gen 1 is also there. Okay. But this is going to retire in 2024. So hence, the Microsoft is recommending to migrate the whole data from the that is nothing but to migrate the whole data from the semi-structured that is from the Gen 1 to the Gen 2 storage, from the Gen 1 to the Gen 2 storage. And next, after this, you have it the fourth one. What is that? Azure SQL DB, Azure SQL database. And the fifth one is, what is it? You have it. Tell me now. Again, everyone. Azure Cosmos DB. Okay. Likewise, you can also have, what is it? Azure Cosmos DB is there. Azure SQL, and then you have, what is it? Azure Synapse. Where the Synapse is called as what? Guys, everyone. The Synapse is called as what? Data warehouse of Azure. This is the data warehouse of Azure. This is called as a data warehouse of Azure. This is called as what? Data warehouse of Azure. Okay, guys, everyone. This is called as the data warehouse of Azure. And the seventh one, what is that you have it? Azure Elastic Pools. These are all the various type of storages which can store the data. Okay, whereas when you talk about the Azure Blob Storage, so the Azure Blob Storage can store any kind of a data. This is a very basic structure, and this is the very basic storage you can say, which can store any kind of data. What is the any kind means what? We can store the data as what? Structured data we can store, and we can store the semi-structured data, everyone. And then you can store what is that? The unstructured data. Any kind of data we can store it into the what is that? Azure data, that is Azure blob storage. When you talk about the Azure data like Gen 2, Gen 2 is more advanced than the the Azure blob storage, where this can also store, guys, this can also store all the three types of data. What is that? We can store it the structured data, everyone, and we can store the semi-structured data. Semi-structured data, and as well as we can store the unstructured data. We can store the any of the data, structured, semi-structured, and as well as the unstructured. When you talk about, guys, when we talk about everyone, when we talk about the Azure Data Lake Gen 1, anyways, we need not discuss this because it is already going to retire and we cannot create it right away. Okay, because this, they have restricted the creation of the Azure Data Lake Gen 1 storage. And now when you talk about the Azure SQL database, guys, the Azure SQL database is nothing but it can store only the structured data. It cannot store any kind of semi or the unstructured format. And when you talk about the Cosmos DB, Cosmos DB is also called as what? NoSQL database, where it can store the structured data and the semi-structured data. It can store the semi-structured and as well as the structured data. That is called as what? Cosmos DB. And now when you talk about the Azure Synapse, as it's a data warehouse, purely structured data, no other kind of data is allowed here, because the cleansed and okay, everything wise, it is stored in a proper form. So hence we can say it's structured data it can store. In the same way, when we talk about the Azure Elastic Pools, it can also store what is it? Elastic Pool is nothing but what? The pool is the multiple databases pool. Multiple databases pool. The pool is nothing but what? Multiple databases pool. So when you talk about the database, database means what? The data stored in the structured format only. That is in the form of rows and columns. That's it. So here, these are some of the storages. So totally, how many type of storages are there? Yes, guys. Totally, we can say in Azure, we have 90 plus of storages, everyone. Yes, guys, 90 plus storages are available into the Azure. That is nothing but the storages in Azure. So now, guys, tell me, everyone, how to log into this? So first of all, we have to use it here, azure.com. Everyone use it as what? Azure.com. And then you have to log in here, whatever the thing is required. So we require to just use it the azure.com and mention it. That is your mail ID, everything. And then afterwards, after your mail ID, everything, guys. After your mail ID, everything you enter it. You have to give the, yes, you have to give, what is it? Tell me now. You have to give your credit or debit card details. You have to give your credit and debit card details as well. And once it is given, guys, then you have to use what is it? Yes, everyone. Then you have to use it. Click on the sign in option and you'll be rerouted back to the portal.azure.com. Portal.azure.com. So I will show it to you practically now once more, because yesterday we have seen it, but still I wanted to show you once more. See, this is the web page, everyone. Are you able to see this web page? Speak out, guys, everyone. What happened? I want everyone to speak. Now, can you see here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now just to see here, I'm using it. Just to type it here, azure.com. type it here as azure.com. Just a minute. Azure.com. This is the actual web page of the Azure. And now guys, can you see here? And here you have what's that? Click on the, can you see here? Create account. And now just click on the start for free. So as already I'm signed in, so it's giving me my mail ID and the password, which is already I have saved it. So guys, that's it. So click on the sign in option now. Else you have to give there manually. Now guys, can you see here what is it? Already have a free Azure account. Upgrade your account to the pricing model. That means I took this free subscription just 10 days back. So this will be available for me for the next 1 month. So I need not worry. So if I use it, it will upgrade it. Okay, that's it. So now once you click on all this, you will be rerouted back to this particular folder. That is nothing but to the particular web page that is called as portal.azure.com. This is your actual login page, guys. So this is the web. This is the page where you're going to work on. On this page only you are going to work. Everything is on this portal only. So guys, you require to take the subscription by yourself, and there is nothing kind of a piracy and kind of this thing where you require to mention the things. Can you see it? These are all the things we have it. That's it, guys. So can you see here, everyone? This is the thing we have it. Okay. So now, this is the web page. So you want to see this? Can you see here? Click on the more services. Now can you see here? These are some storages you have it. Can you see here? Some 21 storages, elastic job agents, okay, SQL Server, stretch, okay, databases, and then you have all these are the SQL Server, okay, Azure ARC, all these are the type of storages. So you have totally how many? 90 plus storages. So now guys, I'm just going back to the home page. This is my portal, everyone. So now guys, now we'll start up with the first service here. What is the first service? The first service we have it here as the, yes guys, Azure Data Factory. Let's start with the Azure Data Factory. So now guys, so to understand and to learn and to know this Azure Data Factory, first of all, we require to know the components components in Azure ADF. Components in ADF. So we require to know the components in ADF, guys. So how to know the components in ADF? Guys, everyone, components in ADF. So basically, the ADF has the following components. What are those? The first one I can say, guys, everyone, pipeline. The first one is called as what? Pipeline. And the second one is called as a, yeah, linked services. And the third one, you can say, what is that? Data sets. pipeline linked service data sets, and the next one, what is it? You have it. Let's say here, data flows. The fifth one, you can say it as activities. And the sixth one, you can say, guys, pipeline linked service data set, data flows, activities, and then you have what is it? Yes, everyone. Okay, activities, and then you have what the triggers. And the seventh one, we have totally 7 components, guys. Integration, runtime, that is called as IR. Everyone, integration, runtime, that is called as IR. These are the 7 components. Nothing else is there, guys, except these 7 components. The entire process rotates on this particular thing. Everyone is okay? Please tell me something, guys.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now let us discuss each one of it. How does it works? What is the use of it? Okay, pipeline. Pipeline is used to carry the data from source to the target. So guys, I can say what? Pipeline is used to carry the data from the source to the target. Technically, I can say this. The pipeline is responsible for orchestration of the data from the source to the target. Everyone, the pipeline is responsible for orchestration of the data from the source to the target. The pipeline is responsible for orchestration. Orchestration means what? Flow of data, how the data should flow. It is responsible. The pipeline is responsible for orchestration of the data from the source to the target. So here you have what, guys, everyone? Source. And here you will have what? Target. So guys, target. Here you have a target. So the data flow between the source and the target, the data flow between the source and the target is done by the ADF, and it is developed on the technique called ETL, where this ADF uses the first component called, what is that? Pipeline, PL. The pipeline carries the data from the source to the target. So we can say pipeline. Pipeline is responsible for carrying the data from the source to the target, from the source to the target, everyone. Okay. So the pipeline is responsible for, yes, everyone, the pipeline is responsible for carrying the data from the source to the target, from the source to the target. Okay. The pipeline is responsible for flow of the data from the source to the target. That is the only thing we have it, everyone. Okay, guys? Yes? Hello? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next one, what is it you have it, guys? When you talk about the linked services, before we see the linked services, can you see here? Here I have the data, and this data, let us say it is on my desktop. The desktop, and I have some files. Can you tell me? Desktop files means what? Some files, some files. So just go to my desktop in real. I'll show you here. See here, this is my desktop, everyone. This is my desktop. And on my desktop, I have some files here, everyone. I have some files here. So just open this folder called customer folder. Now, what are the files you have it? Can you tell me, guys? What are the files you have it? Customer East and Customer South. Am I right? You have 2 files, Customer East and Customer South. These are the 2 files we have it. Customers East and Customers South. So these files are there on the desktop. That means these files are, yes, guys, these files are there on my desktop. That means these files are available on what? On my on-premises system. Am I right, everyone? On-premises system. So guys, whenever you require to transfer the data from the on-premises system or whatever the thing to the cloud environment, here that we require a storage. We require what's a storage. So now you can say what's that? From this, you can transfer the data to the Azure blob storage, whatever the type of data you have it. So that you can transfer it into the Azure blob storage. So this is the storage you have it. Now, guys, everyone, the storage is here. And now the storage need to be connected with the ADF. The ADF is not connected with the storages because the storages are commonly used for all the services, whether it is ADF or it is ADB or Synapse or we can say Fabric or artificial intelligence or machine learning, whatever. Okay, whatever the service you have it, these storages are common. So these storages required to be connected to the ADF. So ADF here is what? The ADF carries out the ADF carries out what? Pipeline, PL. The pipeline is here, guys, everyone. So here, so in the pipeline, we require to connect it with the ADF pipeline to the storages. We require to connect the ADF pipeline or the ADF with the storages. So hence, here we require a linked service. Here we require what's that? Linked service. Now, guys, ultimately, you use the pipeline of ADF and transfer the data to the target. And my target is, let us say, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Azure Data Lake Gen 2 is the another storage. So now, guys, here also, this Azure Data Lake Gen 2 required to be connected with the ADF again. So here we require what is that? One more link services necessary. So now, guys, every storage required to be connected with the ADF and its pipeline. So for that, we use what is that? Linked services. We use what is that? Linked services. So now I will give you the abbreviation of this, or we can say the note of it. Linked service are used to establish the connection between source and the target. Linked service are used to establish the connection between the source and the target, storages. Everyone, so here we require the linked services, everyone. Now, guys, everyone is following, or you require some example to understand this? Please tell me. If you could not understand, I will tell you the example also. That's better. Please, all of you. See, guys, if you respond it, I'll come to know. If you don't respond it, how can I know? Because these are the online classes. These are the online classes. I cannot see your faces and identify who is, understanding, who is not. So it's your responsibility to tell me. If you just be silent like this, it would be difficult for me to decide the things. Please tell me. Everyone is clear with this, because these are the very basic. If really you want to learn this ADF, it would be very much difficult for you to understand if you don't understand these basics. Okay. Now, guys, some examples. I'll take a very simple example, everyone. So we stay in some residential apartments or some individual houses, all of us. Am I right? In the city, we stay in some residential apartments or individual houses. So if you stay in the residential apartment or individual houses, we have the taps everywhere. Water taps. Am I right? Taps are there. So how do we get the water into the taps? Can you tell me? How do you get the water into the taps? Everyone, how do you get the water into the taps? Everyone, you get the water from the overhead tanks. So there will be overhead tanks everywhere in the apartment or in the individual houses, where the water is pumped up and it will be stored into the overhead tank. From the overhead tank, it is supplied to the whole building and the taps of the building. Am I right or not, everyone? Please tell me. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So whereas ultimately your tap is connected with the overhead tank or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
How
sir.
it is connected? How it is connected?
Through pipelines.
Very good. So the pipeline, exactly. Here is the point. So we can say that the overhead tank is connected to your tab using a pipeline. So I can say that the pipeline is the actual source of supply the water from the overhead tank to the tap. Where overhead tank is the source, tap is the target. Am I right? Overhead
Yes.
tank is the source and tap is the target. So between these two, what is there? You have a pipeline. But now, when you have a pipeline here, so here I have an overhead tank. I have an overhead tank here, and here I'm having the taps. Tap. So these two, overhead tank and taps, are connected with the pipeline. You have a pipeline here, water pipeline. This pipeline is called as what? Water pipeline. Water pipeline. I can say water pipeline. Water pipeline. Whereas, can you see here? These, the pipeline with the overhead tank and the pipeline with the tap is connected with a T here. A T type of structure will be there. Okay, we can say some coupling or whatever exactly. Okay, the T type of structure. So there will be a T here. So this T will be connected to the pipeline ultimately. And here also, the T is connected with the pipeline. So can I say that T is establishing the connection between the pipeline and the overhead tank? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
The same way here also the linked services you have it, which establishes the relationship between the source and the target storages likewise. So here you can say, guys, here you can say this is a tank. Okay, this is an overhead tank or whatever the tank you have it. And from here, what is it you have it? See, this is the, sorry, this is the overhead tank, you can say, all of you, that is called as the source. And now this is called as your tap, and tap is the Azure data lake Gen 2. And now you're supplying the data here. You're supplying the data here, not the water. You're supplying the data through a pipeline. So hence it is called as what? Data pipeline. This is called as what? Data pipeline. Data pipeline. It is called as what? Data pipeline. This is called as data pipeline, where it supplies the data from the source to the target. Now, these storages required to be connected with the ADF. Am I right? That means the ADF pipeline. So for that, we use the linked services, just like your T. So every storage or every pipeline require two link services. Okay, one for the source and one for the target. So these are the two things. So we have discussed it. What is it? The first one is the pipeline and the second one is the linked services. And rest of this we'll see tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow we will see all the components and even we'll start the practicals from tomorrow onwards. That's it, guys. Okay. And if you have any doubts for me, please go ahead and ask me now, please.
Sir, what is benefit of ADF?
Benefit of the ADF is one of the best demanding cloud services in the market, and it is cost efficient as well comparatively with Amazon, comparatively with GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Whereas you have the three market leaders right now: Microsoft Azure, Amazon, and GCP. Before, Amazon was in very much boom. Now it has come down because the Microsoft Azure has overtaken the scene. Okay, so whatever the service the this one is providing, Amazon, for 100 rupees, the same service is being provided here for 10 rupees. So that is the reason why people are preferring to go with the Azure, that is rather than going with the other things. Yes. Yeah. Any other questions?
What ADF do means only transfer one to another source?
Transformation of data, integration of data, and migration of data. Migration means what? You know now how to move the data. Moving the data from the cloud on-premises to cloud is called as data migration. Data integration is nothing but what? Establishing the connections, relationship here. Can you see here? Here you have a, what is it you have it? Can you see here, everyone? Here you have, in this particular example, you have a desktop. So desktop, you don't know anything. It is on-premises. So I'm connecting this on-premises to what is that? Azure Blob Storage, that is cloud. So for that, here we require an integration service. So that is called as what? Integration service. Data summarization, ETL it performs, data integration, data migration. So this is one of the biggest tasks we have to do it in the actually working environment. Okay. Yeah. Next, any other questions? And now, guys, I'll just create a WhatsApp group as well. So all of you, those who want me to add up, just send me the following details in this form. The first one is the name, and the second one is your email ID, where with your email ID, we'll provide you the Google Drive access and the study material, everything. And the next one is you require to give your mobile number. And now then afterwards, you require to give the batch timings. So you have to give ADF 9 p.m. IST, you can give like this. And then afterwards, everyone, the batch timings, everything is done. So you can just WhatsApp me on this number. Those who are calling from out of India, you can just use it +91 8096 37 4412. That's it. Clear, everyone? So that's
Sir,
it.
what is the difference between ADF and Databricks?
Databricks is totally a code based.
Okay.
And this is a totally a GUI, graphical user interface, where you don't require to use even the code, even a single amount of code here. And both are almost the same only. We can do the same task. Yeah. Any other questions?
So can you please brief ETL?
Yes, ETL. See,
Yes.
ETL is nothing but basically extraction, transformation, and loading. I'll give you an example on this. That would be better. See, guys, extraction, transformation, and loading. This. So here you have it, extraction. Extraction, transformation, and loading. That's it, guys, everyone. So here, when you talk about the extraction, it is a process where how the data works. Let us see here. What is the extraction, what is transformation, and what is load? Guys, suppose let's take our daily life. Okay, you wanted to prepare, or you wanted to let's use it here. You wanted to prepare some pizza at home. So guys, you require something that is nothing but some raw materials for preparing the pizza or not? Everyone tell me. So you will go to the supermarket. You will go to the supermarket. Let's say you have been to the supermarket to get the things which is required for preparing the pizza. Okay. So in the supermarket, you will get only those items which are used for preparing the pizza, or many more items will be there. Tell me, everyone.
Many, sir.
Many, but out of those many, out of all those many items, you are going to, yes, you're going to buy all of it or few of it? Few of it. Am I right or not? Few of it means what? Let us say you have many items are there, but I wanted to buy an item called, what is that? Can you see it? I wanted to buy item called serial number 1, serial number 3, and serial number 6. I want to buy it. 136 I want to buy. So whereas this is called as what? Picking up of, this is called as what? Picking up of the required things as per your requirement. So this is called as what? Extraction. This is called as what? Extraction. And once you get it, and once you get these items home, so guys, for preparing the pizza, you require to what? Yes, you require to okay, that is nothing but the flour, whatever you get the flour, okay, you have to okay mix it with the water and prepare everything. Okay, like chapati, you have to prepare it everything. So that means what? The raw material you're preparing, you're transforming it, you're changing the form of it from the raw to what is it? Some cooked form. So here what we can do is what's that? So all this mixture you make it, all that mixture before you prepare it, that is called as what? Transformation. That is called as what? Transformation. That is nothing but using the flour, using the flour, okay, using the flour, and then using what's that? Okay, water. All these are nothing but what is that? We use it to prepare the things. And once it is done, guys, everyone. Now, finally, what happened? Your pizza will be baked. Pizza is ready with everything, with all the ingredients. So finally, this is called as what? To prepare the pizza, you have done all these tasks. What is a transformation? Okay, that is changing the form. And finally, once the pizza is ready, you will start eating. So eating is the process of what? Loading. So in the same way, we perform the same type of task on the data here. So whatever the data we require it, we just use it picking up the data. And once the data is picked up and the data, what we do, we filter the data and we, okay, filter the data, whatever the things you wanted, you can perform on the data. That is data cleaning operation, cleansing operation, all these you can perform it. That comes under the transformation. And once the transformation is done, the data will be finally loaded into the target in the required format, Okay, guys, everyone, in the required format. So hence, we can say that this is the process where we can make out the things. Okay. So are you clear with this ETL?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how
And
exactly. Yeah.
sir, here Tableau. What is Tableau? Why it is used?
Basically, Tableau is it's one of the reporting tool, you can say. Tableau is one
Data
of,
visualization tool.
yes, data visualization tool, and it works on the on-premises system.
Okay. So in final stage in ETL load, then what is the outcome of load?
Whatever the output of the load you get it, that you analyze that. You visualize that data, basically. The Tableau, all these are applied on that data only.
Okay.
We have to prepare the data and give it to them,
Mhm.
and they will perform all this task. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That's it. So that's it, guys. So we'll meet up tomorrow the same time. Okay. That's it, guys.
Okay.
Thank you,
The
everyone.
project is included in this.
Yes, yes, project is included. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you then.
No, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.